Hey everyone, it's Kerri. How are you? Um, I am going to be talking about cultivating personal energy today, your own personal inner energy. Um, I have been doing a lot of work with this past year, and I think I'm kind of an expert in it now by default. So I feel like I'm an expert by default. And so I wanted to share some tips that I am using daily, weekly, whatever. And I'm going to apologize in advance because my cat has decided to jump up here and is chasing a light or something that's reflecting on the ceiling. So if the desk shakes or the camera shakes, that's what's going on. Um, so for those of you who don't know me, I'm Kerri Miller. I'm a Feng Shui practitioner, and I believe that, well, I'm going to tell you what I believe. Because it really leads into what I'm going to talk about today. I believe that everything is energy. I really believe everything is energy. That includes votes, election results, money, love, health. It's all energy. And I also believe that energy flows where attention goes. And so it's really powerful to focus on what you have and what you want instead of what's missing or not present in your life, or instead of chaos and drama that can be going on. I think you can read into that based on what's going on nationally this week. I believe that we all have huge potential within us and around us, and that most of us are tapping into maybe 5% of that and wasting, really literally like consciously choosing to waste the rest of it. And I'll talk about that a little bit today. I believe that our energy and our potential ripples out and influences the whole world. And so I like to think about this in terms of, you know, first of all, in terms of the energy of your surroundings, which is what the work that I do is, you can walk into your house after a hard day of work and feel this release, this sense of awe, this relaxation from having experienced coming into a better vibe of a space. You can also come into your house after a hard day of work and affect the space, like your energy affect the space and bring the space down and temper it. So it kind of goes back and forth. So our own personal energy and vibe is rippling out, and it's affecting positively or negatively, our kids, our partners, our neighbors, our clients, the work that we put out there. And so it's really powerful stuff to pay attention to your own vibe and do your best to keep it up. And I also really believe that whatever you're consuming, you are emitting, and even more in a magnified way. And so, that really comes down, I'm noticing this a lot this week in terms of the US election and the results that are in play right now. Like, there are no results, right? So people are consumed with watching and paying attention to what's going on and going up and going down and being engaged in the drama that is the election right now. I know for me personally, even just in the last couple of years, I've really become more aware of how much of an empath I am and how I absorb and take on the energy of other things and other people's and other situations without even needing to try. I don't just see things, I feel them. And I think most of us are that way. We just might not be consciously aware of it. For me, for years, I was unconsciously reacting to my environment or people in my environment or situations around, and not realizing that that's what I was reacting to. So I would be moody, I would be tired, I would be exhausted. And I would kind of blame myself or blame, the situation or blame lots of other things, but really it was outside of me that I was taking on. it takes a really big effort on my part to protect myself from that. And I've just started doing this in the last couple of years, which kind of, I say I'm an expert in it, but I'm really a work in progress on this journey. And it takes a daily effort. And I want to share that with you because I think it's so powerful. So yesterday, all week, I kind of made this decision earlier, and I talked about this last week. If you watched my video last week, I was talking about ways to clear the energy of your home and keep the vibe up around you during the election. And now, of course, the election has dragged on for like 5 days now. And so Tuesday, we were really good about, I did all of those things that I shared last week, and you can go find the video on that. But I did a lot of energy clearing, and we had really strong boundaries set up around the news and what was coming in and what we were consuming in terms of the news, staying informed, but not fully energetically and emotionally engaged in the drama and the chaos. And we did really good on that the first couple days. So, and I was checking in with social media and seeing a lot of people commenting, and a lot of my friends and family members, being very engaged and very emotional about what was going on. And no judgment on that. That's, what they are thriving on. But I was trying really hard to keep it very tempered, and I did so good at it. But then yesterday I met a friend for coffee, and she's very active in politics and other things. And so the first thing she said to me when she walked over to our table is, she said, "I haven't eaten, I haven't slept, I'm exhausted, I'm totally nauseous about this whole situation." And I was like, oh, you know what, I've really not been I've been paying attention, but I've not been really engaging and letting, I've been conscious to not let it affect me that way, because I just don't think that's healthy, right? And I'll talk more about that as we go on. It's not healthy for me. I know that after years of letting myself burn out otherwise. But by the end of our, coffee connection, I was actually feeling like kind of shaky and unsettled. And I made a big mistake. Then I went home and I kind of started engaging in it. So I turned on the news, and I watched the news last night, and I turned on one channel and I watched the news there, and then I turned on the other channel and watched what seems to be a totally different story there, right? And so by the end of the night, I was really feeling energetically sucked in and drained and powerless. Like literally powerless. Like I didn't know, like it was kind of, as I was going to bed, I'm like, what do I believe? What is the truth? And what I want you to know, and I think we forget so much, is that the truth is within. The answer is within. The next right step for all of us is within. And a lot of times we can let the outside environment dictate what we're thinking and what we're feeling and how energized we are and how much potential we have and what our path is. And if you can temper that, which obviously I'm still learning how to do, you can really tap into a huge amount of potential that isn't even there. And I really believe that by tapping into that inner potential and also magnifying it by tapping into the energy and being deliberate about the energy around you, that you can really, I think you can move oceans. Like really, I think that you can create this amazing wave of energy that changes the outcome of things just by going within. And so I really believe that your personal vibe, your personal energy is so important. And obviously the work I do is about the energy of your surroundings. But like I said in the beginning, they go hand in hand. Like the energy in your home can affect you and be pulling you down and depleting you. And likewise, you can be consuming things and feeling things and emoting things that are rippling out and influencing the energy of your surroundings and the potential of your surroundings, and also the potential of everything around you. Um, yeah, I want to say more about that, but it'll come to me in a minute. So I want to share my tips, and I also want to say, hi Tracy, how are you? Thanks for being here. I also want to say that I'm going to have some time at the end of this, I guess, rant. Maybe it's a rant, and maybe my real purpose for this is to share with you some tips for cultivating your personal energy and keeping your vibe high, which will ripple out into your home and your surroundings and raise the vibe a little bit in this world. Be a bright spot in this world for others. But I also will have time at the end of the call. So if you have a question about Feng Shui, about your personal home and what to do within it, or if you have questions about this topic today, I'm going to have time to answer it. So please go ahead and put it in the comments, and at the end, I'll be happy to answer it for you. So let me talk about what I do for my own personal energy. And again, this is just a couple years old. I've only been doing this for a short time, and it has made a world of difference in how I feel and how I'm able to approach things, and even how I feel that there's a way that I'm able to keep myself above the chaos and, I don't know, maintain my path, my purpose. So that's what it's meant to me. So the first thing I would say is have some kind of morning practice. For me, it's a morning practice. For you, maybe it's an evening practice. But mine is not very set in stone. I do, for sure, have a chunk of time in the morning that I connect with something that serves me. So often I will meditate, often I will tap, or I will journal. So it's one or the other, sometimes two of those things. But I probably set aside a good hour, at least an hour in the morning, where I am doing those things. And that's my opportunity to, I see it both ways. I see it as number one, going within and connecting with my own inner knowing, and calming myself down. But, with the tapping and the journaling, for me, that is getting it out. Like this morning when I woke up after having watched the news last night and then didn't get a good night's sleep, and I just woke up and I knew my energy was off. I was anxious. I was wound up. I was worried. I was definitely not in a good, positive, energetic place. And I wanted to get it out. I wanted to get that anxiety, that feeling out of me. And so tapping or journaling are the ways that I usually, for me, it's turning down the volume of the thing that doesn't feel good. Whereas meditating for me is connecting to, and really raising my own personal volume, my own personal energy. So, make a morning practice for yourself. It doesn't need to be an hour long. It could be 15 minutes long, and it's so powerful to just, even just do a brain dump onto a sheet of paper about what is bothering you and what you're anxious about. And I love tapping. It is definitely, EFT tapping is a way of, for me, energetically turning the volume down of the things that I don't like, and also turning the volume up of the things I want to feel more of. And then meditating is just that moment to get quiet and connect and hear my own thoughts, for myself, instead of listening to the news, the different news channels telling me what to believe. It's for me to connect and just know what is the truth for me. The second thing I would say is movement. This is huge and a big key for me. This morning I went for a walk. I love yoga. I don't practice it very well. I'm not a very good yoga practicer. When I go to a yoga class, I always feel amazing afterwards, but I don't do it often enough. But even like dancing or just shaking around or jumping around your space is a great way, again, to shake off all that anxious energy and just shift the vibe of your personal energy. I'll tell you two stories. One is that I have my daughter, one of my daughters wakes up at the crack of dawn, and she's in this totally awake, joyful place when she wakes up, and she's chattering, and she's just alive in the morning. I've never been like that. Anybody who grew up with me would tell you that it takes me a long time to wake up, and I'm very slow, and I'm kind of cranky, and it takes me a long time to do that calibrating into the day. And my younger daughter is the same way. Like, it takes a long time for her to get up, and she often wakes up kind of cranky at me. And so there are times where when she's out of bed, we've started to do this little thing where I'm like, let's just shake it off. Let's just shake. And we do this silly little, shake our hands, shake our feet, and we jump around the room for a minute, and we both see how, we can kind of shake off that tiredness, that crankiness of the morning. And it's powerful. It really helps. And the thing is that when I was at her age and I was waking up cranky, I was just continuing to be cranky because nobody gave me the tools to shift. And so as I learn these things for myself, I'm trying to push it onto to others who it will help, because you just don't know the power and the potential of something simple like, take a few deep breaths, or shake it off, or turn on some music and dance. Another story that I have, and this is something that I practice daily. I actually just did this right before I got on the video, and it's usually a part of my pre-video practice. I practice qigong, and I don't even know if I'm saying it right, but it is something I don't know very much about, but I was introduced about 15 or 16 years ago when I was at a holistic school studying energy healing and nutrition and all kinds of stuff. And my life at the time was, I worked a full-time job, and I loved the job, but it was stressful. And then I left the job at maybe 5 o'clock at night and rushed through Southern California traffic to get to this course, this program that I was signed up for. And everybody was just like that. I mean, we were all battling Southern California traffic trying to get to this destination to take the class. And not even realizing how stressed we were. I mean, I was so stressed trying to just wrap up my day from work and get out the door and get in the car in time, and then trying to get through traffic just so I could get to the class, and usually eating food in the car or grabbing something really quick, and just so I could get to the class and then do 3 hours of learning at night. And there was this one class at the very beginning of this program that I was taking. It was a massage class. It was just learning about massage and anatomy of the body. And the teacher started the very first class by saying, "Everybody stand up." And she took us through this series of movements, qigong, for about 5 minutes. And it was an amazing shift of energy. I went from being anxious and stressed and completely disconnected and not paying attention and not focused, to being present and being connected. To me, that's what this little practice, it's 5 minutes of these beautiful, slow movements attached to breath. I can't explain anything more about it. Look up qigong, do some videos on YouTube. I hope you get the same experience that I do from it. But anytime I'm feeling tired or disconnected or super anxious, and I was feeling anxious before I did this video because, again, I took myself out of alignment last night with watching and consuming what was going on. And so it's an immediate energetic shift. So whatever kind of movement you do, just don't sit and wallow in whatever you're feeling. Get up and move around. Going for a walk will help. Doing some yoga or some stretching or dancing or jumping around is really powerful. And if you can, get some other type of practice like qigong, it's literally a 5-minute practice of movement and motion and breathing that I do. And it shifts everything for me. And anytime I'm feeling super drained or super tired and I need to pull it together for, maybe I have a client coming up, or a phone call I have to do, I do that first, and it really just reconnects me. Hope that's helping. The other thing I would say is water. Drink water. Like just guzzle a bunch of water if you're feeling really drained and disconnected. Remember that we are 90% water. Our bodies are 90% water. I love to drink moon water, which is water that is charged by the moon, by the full moon. I'm not doing that today. I do have a glass of water beside me, but it's not charged water. But I really believe that we can tap into those energies around us, that, the moon, the sun, and really put some extra charge into the things that we consume so that we are energizing ourselves. I had a teacher in that same course that I was taking before. There was a nutrition class, and there was a teacher who was teaching about food and nutrition, and she used to say that when you're preparing food, you need to instill it with vitamin L, and that's like just putting your love into the dish as you're making it and blessing the food as you're eating it. Even if it's a really unhealthy McDonald's Happy Meal that you're putting in your body, bless it, and you will shift the energy that you're consuming. And so just keep that in mind. You have a lot of power and potential in the energy around you that you can tap into and bring into your being. And, drinking and eating is one of those ways, and really being intentional and ritualistic about what you consume is a powerful part of the process of helping you cultivate energy and raise your own personal vibration. And then the other thing I would say is I use salt water a lot, and I talked about this last week. I use salt as a clearing, I guess, a energy clearing agent in my home. It's really, I guess it's more of a neutralizing agent, but it also is really powerful in helping to dissipate your personal energetic field, or helping to clear your personal energetic field. So, you can certainly do things like smudge yourself and, burn sage or other herbs or Palo Santo or just incense, around and swoosh the smoke around your aura to help clean your energy. But salt water is another really powerful way to do that, and I feel like it's very instant for me. And so soaking my hands or my feet in salt water or taking a salt bath are amazing ways to I turn the volume down on all that negative stuff and energize myself. So keep that in mind if you're feeling really unsettled by the energies that are going on, and maybe you've been over consuming all the drama and the chaos and the emotion and the charged energy that's going on around this election. If you're feeling really off center, do some of these things, and definitely try salt water. Take a salt bath, or put your feet in some salt water for a little while. It makes a huge difference. And the last thing I want to say is something that is more of a feng shui tip that's about your surroundings and your environment. When I'm feeling really off center and I need to cultivate my energy, a lot of times I will do it by focusing on my surroundings, and I'll move things around, or I'll sweep or clean. And this is something that I have seen many really well-known feng shui practitioners talk about, doing a devotional cleaning of some place in your home. Maybe it's a devotional cleaning of your altar. Maybe it's a devotional cleaning of your stove, which is related to abundance and health and wealth. For me, it's often I do a devotional cleaning probably once a month of my front entryway, my front door, the front steps leading to my front door, and the entryway inside our house. It's really sometimes it's just a matter of grabbing a broom and sweeping the front steps. Other times it's like taking a bowl of charged water, moon water, or Florida water, and essential oils, and a cloth, and wiping down the door handles, and really energetically charging that space. I love the word devote. Tracy, I think you and I had a conversation about this word a while back, but it's such a powerful word to like devote your attention to something else. Take your energy off that thing that is, causing you the stress, the anxiety that's draining you and then it's depleting you, and focus it somewhere else, anywhere else, and devote yourself to that thing, that space, and really show it some love. Whenever you show your home some love, I guarantee it will show you some love back. And the places I like to focus when I'm looking to do that deep clean, for me, it's the front door, which is where all the energy that comes into the house, it passes through that front door, that portal into your space. And so making sure that the space is beautiful and that the energy around that space is really high vibe and clean, helps raise the energy of the whole house because it's passing through that high vibe portal. I also focus, sometimes it'll be a devotional cleaning of the bedroom, which I think we spend so much time in, and we're at that vulnerable energetic state when we're there. So we're sleeping and dreaming, and we're spending a third of our life in that room. So a devotional cleaning of the bedroom and really showing some love. We just put a new headboard we got a new mattress and a new headboard, and so we totally kicked up lots of dust bunnies when we moved the bed around and had the opportunity to really clean that space, and it feels really good afterwards. And then often it'll be my desk because I'm here a lot too, and so I will do a devotional cleaning of my files and my notes and put everything away and take a moment to create a clean slate on my desk. So that I kind of consider movement, but more movement on a feng shui level where you're tapping into the energy around you and shifting the energy around you. There's a book on feng shui, and I can't remember the author's name, but it's one of the first books that I read when I was getting involved in feng shui, and it's called "Move Your Stuff, Change Your Life," and it's the truth. Like literally, you can change instantly how you're feeling, how your life is progressing by just getting up and moving a few things around. So it's really powerful process. So I would say, just to summarize all of this, there's so much chaos and so many stories, so many storylines going on out in the world right now. And you get to choose how much attention you give to it, but know that the attention that you give to it is calling energy to that. So when you spend a lot of time, checking your news feed and refreshing and looking at the news and biting your fingernails and getting really anxious about what's going on and getting drawn into the drama and the storylines and the chaos and the worry and the anxiety, you're just calling energy to that and making it bigger within your reality. And so I just encourage you to kind of give yourself some boundaries, cut it off if you can, and put some practices in place that allow you to protect your personal energy and to cultivate your personal energy so that you are, I really believe, I think that there's going to be some chaos and drama for a while to come, and that no matter which way the election goes, we have a lot of healing to do, and there's probably a lot more battles to show up for. And I really think that all those people who are like biting their fingernails and staring at the screen and refreshing their social feeds right now are going to have a harder time showing up for battle. Or if they do show up for battle, they're going to be depleted or showing up from a place that is not aligned and powerful, not showing up from a place of personal power. So I really encourage everybody to try to find this place, create this space for yourself, and these energizing practices that can strengthen your personal power and align you with your personal knowing so that you can show up for all of the trials that may be coming down the line, and be in your place of power and really make a difference, really be able to make a difference because you have conserved your energy and cultivated your energy in a way that allows you to make a bigger difference. Let me see if there's anything else I want to say about that. Yeah. I mean, a lot of times when I'm working with the client on their space, we will talk about these energy cultivating practices as well. You know, I have a very holistic practice when it comes to feng shui. Those classes that I was taking 20 years ago in energy healing and nutrition and herbalism and aromatherapy, those all come into the practice that the feng shui practice that I practice now. And so a lot of times in the packages that people work with me on, we're looking at not only their home and the energy of their home, but how they can shift their own personal energy. Lots of tips like this come through. If you're interested in one-on-one sessions with me or packages, reach out to me. I have lots of options available right now. And I don't have a date confirmed, but I'm going to have a free webinar coming up soon. So I want you to be aware of that. So watch for that. I'm going to answer some questions now. Tracy, I see that you have a question. Is there a way to raise the vibration of our living room through color? That is the space where our TV is. I want the space to be calm and serene, yet bright and cheerful as we enter the long winter season. She had the windows open yesterday and lit some candles with the intention of bringing light into our space. Any other suggestions? Yeah, I love the idea of color. So I feel like color is one of the least expensive ways that you can shift the energy of the space with. So you can add some colors that elicit that feeling for you by bringing some pillows in or some throws in that are that color, or throwing a can of paint up on the wall that shifts the energy. It's really an inexpensive way to change the whole entire vibe of the space. So, and it depends, like, I would say to think about what feels calming to you. Like, so in my personal experience, I've lived in a few different climates. And when I lived in Southern California, with that beachy, I could step outside and the beach was nearby, like you could feel that tropical vibe and that Southern California vibe from the weather. Like there was plenty of sunshine, plenty of fire energy when you stepped outside. And so in my home, I didn't feel like I needed to bring in that beach vibe or that fire energy into the space. And so I actually brought in a lot of colors like that were missing from that space. For me, like the deep purples and the reds and the oranges that I missed from New England, which were like the autumn colors, were what I used in my home there because I was just trying to balance. Like we already had that other stuff outside. And for me here, it's a little bit different. Like, and I love the beach vibe. And I would say our home has a little bit of that, but that cool blue and calming ocean feel of like a coastal decor is great. But in the winter, for me, in the winter when we get lots of snow and ice and everything's white, and then inside the house is that cool beachy vibe, I feel a little cold. And so I bring in a lot of fiery colors like the yellows and oranges to balance out that beach vibe. And so I'm not going to give you colors that will work for you, but I'm going to tell you to think about for you what that feels like, and think it through, like what will balance that coldness of winter for you. And intuitively, you're going to know what color that is, and what to bring more of into your space. And it's absolutely the best way to do it. And I love having the windows open when you can is powerful. Color isn't the only way to bring in that warmth when it's cold outside. I always use, candles. I have lots of different levels of lighting throughout our space, so we can dim the bright overhead lights and turn on the salt lamps, or I have twinkly white lights on different places throughout our house. So just bringing in different levels of lighting will also help warm that space up. Yeah, I definitely recommend checking out qigong on YouTube. I literally like this 5-minute practice that she taught in that class is all I use now, and I'm sure like crucify it every time I do it. I know I forget half of the mental imagery that was supposed to be going through your head at the time, and I do it very fast paced, and I think it's supposed to be a very slow process, but it still works incredibly powerfully for me. So see what you can find. Ingrid says, hi Ingrid, it's good to see you. I'd love to ask you about what I should hang in our stairway to upstairs. They're on the left side of your house. So I'm thinking, Ingrid, that you're asking about, you're maybe trying to think of something to hang that will counter the effect of maybe the energy rushing down the stairs and away from you. So staircases typically are one of those areas where the energy drains away from us or depletes from the area. And so we want to lift the energy up. And so there's lots of different things you can do. I mean, you can raise the energy up by hanging a chandelier from the ceiling or a faceted crystal from the ceiling. You can raise the energy up by having artwork on the wall that shows, you know, balloons, like hot air balloons, where the energy is, you know, the subliminal message is that the balloons are uplifting and going up in the air. Birds, trees, you know, trees, pictures of plants or trees that have that upward growing energy will counteract that downward flow. And even just like you could put stripes or wallpaper on the wall of the staircase that, you know, are, you know, that up and down energy, that columnar energy. I said that wrong, but you know, it gives you that upward motion. So there's a few ideas. Let me know if that helps for you. Tracy says, when I cook, I always try to remember to bless the food as I prepare it. From the farmers who plant the seeds to blessing the store who sells the items I buy. It's an important ritual of love and gratitude. I love that so much. I really love that. Yeah, and the ritual part of things, all these things that we do, we get so busy and we forget, and then we start to think, oh, it's not even, that's silly, it's not even worth it to do. But it's when you do start taking that extra moment to, you know, to drink charged water, or to bless something, or to have gratitude for something, or to sweep your front steps and make it feel really beautiful. It starts giving back to you, right? When you put that devotion into things and that ritual and energy into something, it comes back to you. So powerful. Hi, Jana, how are you? Yeah. So I think that's all the questions, you guys. Ingrid, I want to just answer for you. Your stairs are on the left side of your house, which means that you are, the staircase is on the wisdom side of the house, or the knowledge and intuition, which is about your connection to your higher self and to higher learning. And according to the Bhagavad, which I don't have in front of me, there are colors associated with that. So, I mean, you could also raise the vibe of your space by thinking about, or your staircase, by thinking about that particular area that it's in. And maybe, you know, maybe at the base of the stairs you put a Buddha statue, or a collection of books that you like to pass by that remind you of the things that you're inspired to know more about, or that remind you to connect to your higher self and your higher knowing. So that's another way to raise the vibe of the staircase, you know, counteract the negative downward flow of the staircase, but also enhance that part of your home that the staircase falls within, and enhance that part of your life, right? So I hope that gives you another idea. That's all, everybody. Thank you so much. Reach out to me if I can help you with your Feng Shui. Keep an eye out for the information on the webinar that I'll be doing shortly. And join me here next week on another session of Feng Shui Fridays. That's what I'm going to call it from now on. So Fridays at 11, this is when I'm going to be here. And I really appreciate you all being here. And I hope you have a great weekend. For those of us in New England, we have just gorgeous weather. So tap into that and absorb it, and see if you can counteract all that electric election energy that's out there. Take care, everybody. Thanks for being here. Have a great day.